English to Latin can be tough, so here are a few steps to help you out. Step 1 is going to be analyze your English grammar, so I'm going to do that in blue. So my original sentence, Rufus really wants to drink some water. The first thing I want to find is my verb. I have a verb phrase in this sentence, wants to drink, made up of a conjugated verb, wants, and so I'm going to call that my main verb. And then I also have an infinitive. And in English, infinitives are verb forms that begin with, in English, a verb like to drink is an infinitive, to go, to run, to be. And in Latin, those infinitives are going to be your second principal part. They're going to be forms that end in are if they are first conjugation, ere with a long e if they're second, ere with a short e if they're third, and ire. So those are infinitives. Now that I have my verb, I want to find my subject. To find my subject, I'm going to ask the question who or what about the verb. So who wants to drink some water? Why, Rufus does. Rufus is my subject. And then Rufus wants to drink what? I can answer that question with a word in my sentence, water. So water is my direct object. I'm going to abbreviate that with DO. And to find my direct object, I just ask the question whom or what about my subject and verb together. So I put Rufus wants to drink is my whole subject and verb. Rufus wants to drink whom. There's no answer to that because you don't drink people. So Rufus wants to drink what? Water, direct object. Now looking at the rest of my sentence, I have some garnish happening. So sentence garnish for me is my term for things like adverbs and prepositional phrases that are not important to making something a sentence, but they add more information to a sentence. So really, I can have my sentence be a sentence that makes sense without the word really. So I could easily say Rufus wants to drink some water, but I wanted to emphasize that he really does. So we're going to use the word vere for really. You might know vero, you might know valde. So whatever word you're comfortable with using for really is fine by me. I'm going to stick with vere today. And then I'm in Latin 1, so I don't know the word some, so I'm going to leave it out, and I'm going to treat it like the article a, an, or the in English. You know how those don't have Latin equivalents, so I just omit them when I put them into Latin. Now it's time to consider Latin grammar. So step 2 is going to be to align things with Latin grammar. So what case, based on my syntax in English, my syntax are things like subject and direct object, how would things go into Latin? So my subject I know is nominative case, because I know my Latin cases. I know that nominative case is used for subjects. And I know that direct objects in English are in the accusative case in Latin, because I know that accusative case is used for direct objects. So those are my nouns. And then I have my verb. So I look at my vocabulary list if I'm not sure of the word wants. I think it's around chapter 4 or 5 that you get the phrases non wis, which means like you don't want, and then non wult, and which means he, she, or it doesn't want. So if I take the non out, I'm left with wis and wult. And we're going to use wult because it means he, she, or it wants. So that's the word we're looking for in this chapter, in this sentence, that is. So, getting this into Latin, my nominative form of the name Rufus is a second declension, masculine noun. So Rufus in English is going to translate to Rufus in Latin. I'm going to keep vere. I'm going to keep wult for he really wants. And then my verb for to drink, you might use bibere. I don't know if we've had this word yet, so you could also use sumere for to consume. And again, this is an example, so you might not have these exact words, and that's fine. He wants to drink what? Water. Aqua is first declension, and it's accusative singular, so aquam. So there's your sentence. You might have some trouble with some of the vocabulary. You're always welcome to look up words. Please use William Whitaker's words. It's going to help you probably the most if you're using an online dictionary. Otherwise, I really do recommend a paper dictionary.